What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. How are we doing? Hope we're all doing really well now. It's Monday evening. Have a new formation, have a new set of custom tactics, and this one I believe is meta. And I think you guys will agree when you use this. This is probably one of the best formations out there at this point in time. Now the game is obviously 10 days old, so I have managed to play quite a significant amount of games. I've also done this in Rivals. I've also done this in Playoff as well. So I do know this is a legitimate 100% working meta, in my opinion, formation. It is the 4-2-4 that you see in front of you. However, this is what I like about this game. These tactics are pretty good. I'm not going to lie. You can mess around with it to a really good extent. So, as you can see in front of you, I'm obviously going to show you how this is all set up. But without the ball, you can see. But with the ball is the most significant part, and that part I will show you at the end of the video, because obviously I'm going to break it down into chunks on how this formation works, so it's explainable in such a way that you're not shocked if something goes wrong or if something goes right. You know exactly how it's going to work, so I will explain it in great detail. But anyway, the tactical presets are: it's a 4-2-4. Its build-up style is balanced, and a defensive approach is 60. Now, I've tried this on 61 to make it higher. I've tried it on 91, on aggressive 95. I've tried it on all of these. Now, what you'll find with the balance side of things, that's adjust itself out. I'll go back up to 60. So what you'll find here is if you go to 61, it says there, applying situational pressure and adopting a high line that tends not to track opposition runs. Now, that is assuming that if you run it on a 61 or higher and you're aggressive, it's because you're so high, you're kind of going to run into them so they don't have to track you. Now, you want them to track runs. That is the whole point. You need them to track runs, otherwise you're just going to get left with a switch or a long pass, and your player's just going to be watching the ball come over the top of their head. So, in my opinion, the higher it is, the worse it can be, depending on the formation that you're using. So I tend to have it on 60, because then it says there, it says this approach gives the defense flexibility on how deep they drop and which runs they track. Now, 61, no good. 60 is the sweet spot for me. And like I say, I have tried this on different defense approaches. So 60 is the sweet spot for me. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop you in the gameplay. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to pause it in certain areas just to show you how this works and how I use this formation. Now, this formation is predominantly used as it says, a balanced type of formation. However, it's more for a high turnover. So, what I mean by high turnover is if you win the ball anywhere near the halfway line or above, you are in on goal every single time, and you will outnumber your opponent every single time. But on the downside to that, you would think that you would be countered, but you're wrong. You don't get countered like you think unless you're pulling players out of position. So that's why it's definitely worth watching the gameplay that I'm going to show you, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And then we'll come back and I'll show you with and without the ball. So no messing about, let's get straight into this. And you can see here we're straight on the defence. We're quite compact, as you'd expect in a 4-2-4 when you defend. You can see the forward. We lose the ball, but this is the turnover that I was talking about. This is where it becomes a high turnover. So you can see here we're quite high. We win the ball in midfield. We're instantly a 4v2, and this is where you get the advantage from this formation. Now, I'm going to break it down to kind of slow it down a little bit and make it look a little bit easier. So you're quite high up the pitch using 6. You can see there you're a 4 and a 1, so that's your 4 defenders and a DM. You got Guti here, and you got your 4 forwards there. With the high turnover, you win the ball back in this position here, and then before you know it, you're a 4v2. You get, and I mean that is so simple. That is such a simple turnover, and it's a high turnover, and it's like a pep type style of play in respect of you win the ball high and you just outnumber them going forward. And you can see here we're not overly committed. You have your 4 men forward, you're pressing them in using that 61 defensive pressure. They do get out of it, but we managed to win the ball back again. A high turnover, a 4v2 again, and then we're 2-1 up. And that is going to be the struggle for your opponent. They're not going to know what's hit them with the 4-2-4 formation. Um, and again, you can see here we're 4-4-1 in defence. We get the other defence. Sorry, we get the other centre mid coming back, tracking back to help. Instantly, we're moving forward. There's your line of four. Again, once you split that defence, they're going to find it very, very difficult. We do get a little bit of luck, but it doesn't matter. We'll take all the luck we can get. It's 3-1. The passing is so poor in this game that you can get away with certain things, especially things like that. And also, you can play this around as much as you like. So there's the switch, because you're automatically a wide formation anyway. You're getting the ball forward. You've got your runners, and before you know it, you look right there. That this is 2v1 straight away. And that is what I'm talking about. With if you go higher on the defensive approach, you're more aggressive and you do lose your shape and you do have players coming out of position. Here's another example. Well, starting off with the defensive side of things, so it is a 4-4-2 in defence. You can see that clearly. You can see we're quite high as well. We have the two banks of four. He does break the lines, but luckily enough, the defence is there to mop up any danger. And then, yeah, from here, we just have to wait for a few players to get into position. Once they're into position, then it is a case of moving that ball forward. You've got runners off the ball all over the pitch, which is really nice as well. And you've got Jota here with a nice little cross straight into Ollie Watkins, and that is 1-0. You can also cross the ball for heads as well. So this has everything across the board. Let's jump into the instructions. So yeah, if we go to the player roles and without the ball, we can see that we're using the left back and right back on wing backs and on balanced. Now that means they are going to. You can see it there. It allows them to push upfield to support, but also returns to their defensive position. So they're not going to be out of position unless you pull them out of position. So that's why I've got them set on wing back and balanced. The box to box is a given. It's box to box on balanced. I'm using Joe Linton because I'm either on him. I would normally use a faster player in there, if you like. So I would use my Guti, or I would use a Palmer, or I would use a Foden, somebody like that in that position. Rice I only recently got, so I don't know much about his card at this point in time, but of course he's a DM, so therefore he's the holding player and his focus is purely on defending. So what you'll find, if you've watched the gameplay clips, you will see that the defence is always in a straight back four, and you will always see my holding DM where he should be. So you're defending in a five. You should not be caught out on a counter attack unless you are pulling players out of position. So then move on to our wingers. It's without the ball, it's a given. It's a winger. So when you click on it, you can see here. Usually they're set to balanced. It keeps changing itself for some stupid reason. I don't know why it does that. The game is weird at times. So it's a winger on balanced on both sides. That way you can see the heat map. They're going to come back and help in defence if they need to. And then your two strikers, advance forwards, attack. You don't need them to do anything else. That's it. So that's without the ball. That's defending. So you're defending in a 4-4-2. That's simple. With the ball is where it gets interesting. Now, what you're looking at is a 2-4-4. It sounds crazy, but it attacks in a 2-4-4. So you have your two centre backs staying back doing their thing. Then the wing backs are wing backs. So you click on them, you can see they're going to get up and down the pitch on both sides. They're going to get up and down the pitch in support. Same with the wingers. They're going to get up and down the pitch in support, both sides. And then your attackers are your attackers, and you're going to be defending in more like Rice, for example. Here, he's going to be sitting kind of in between the two centre backs. So you're going to basically be a free at the back at times. But it's pretty good at how it attacks. So you're going to have free defending. So you have the two centre backs sitting close to the halfway line, and then just in front of them you'll have your DM. Now it's highly unlikely you're going to get caught on the wings, because the passing in this game is rubbish. If they fix the passing, then I think this formation goes out the window. But whilst the passing is the way it is, you can get away with it. So like I say, it is more of a 2-4-4 in attack. And it attacks so well, and I've scored so many goals, and it's just been a joy to use. So yeah, definitely give it a go. I will show you the code. You can see the code up there. I will Obviously, I'll copy and paste it and put it in the description as well, so the code is there if you want to use it. Yeah, definitely worth giving this one a go, guys. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And that's about it. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, take care. Look after yourselves. Bye bye.